Welcome in crafting creatures. Here's what we need for my last card on the channel. So we need sellotape, just sellotape. I've got some acetate, which is actually a projector screen piece of plastic, but still. Stick of glue. Sprinkles, which are sprinkled all over my card. A pair of scissors. The sprinkled on card, which I have pre-scored and folded with a little bit of texture on, a nice orangey yellow colour. My ladybird stamp, which will be used later. Black ink, just pigment ink, and some brown gradiented pigment ink. 4 oxides, spice marmalade, 1 lipstick, scattered straw, twisted citron, and candied apple. They're going to be my distress oxide ink and a blending tool. I'm going to be using this embossing folder just here, just of a winded over tree. So that's that. As you can see, there are quite a few various leaf die cutters over here. Quite a mismatch, but that's fine because that's what I need, lots and lots of leaves. We have a rectangular die cut. Stamp wise, a letter set with 3 different styles upon it. From this particular stamp set, I was looking at these leaves just here, so we'll see which ones I end up using, but they're the ones I'm looking at. And from this set, I was also looking at the leaves just here, and possibly the bird maybe, but we'll see when it comes to it. We will see. Maybe it's a possibility, maybe not, I don't know yet, but we'll see. Maybe one of these, maybe. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to play along. My Nellie's stamping tool, my waterproof blending mat, and a lot of different patterned papers and cards, just autumnal colours. Browns, orange, red, yellow, just a bit of a mismatch, all as scrap, and that's everything that's needed for the moment. Okay, so first thing I need to do is grab my spiced marmalade. I'm going to basically be using this particular piece of paper to just put a group of autumnal colours on, any which way, it doesn't really matter. I'm not particularly looking for a strong colour with the inks, purely because this paper itself is quite autumnal anyway, and we all know that autumn leaves don't actually all be one solid colour, they're very gradiented. So I'm going to speed through this, and I'm going to be using each of the inks I showed you earlier, just randomly, here, there, everywhere, all over this, just to get some variation of colour. So this is the last one that I'll use, which is a gradient. No need to blend it onto the paper here, just ink straight onto the paper because it's already gradiented. It's all good. Doesn't mean I'm going to be using all of these colours, but at least I have the option to die cut my leaves out of something a little bit different. Okay, so here are all of my leaves, lots of different colours, lots of different shapes, lots of different sizes. And now with my gradient brown again, which is the pigment ink, I am going to be doing some stamping, and also this little pigment ink here, which is kind of a reddy brown. It doesn't actually have a colour, it's just a number 30 for the pretty colour pigment range. Pass. Acrylic blocks, my anti-static powder bag, which is needed. My acetate I have cut to the size that I need. My card, you can see I now have a window in it. All coming together now. Sorry for the jump cut. Oh yeah, also I've embossed my piece of paper, which now has the tree on it. You can just about see there. But right now I'm going to go for these little leaves, if I can get them off the sheet, because we're going to be adding some leaves onto what will be this blue background. And also going to grab these ones, I think, over here. I don't think I'll go for too many different variations because I don't want to overkill, but I'm going to grab these and one leaf on its own. That one. Yes. Let's go for that one. Okay. So that's the stamps. They can go away for the moment because right now I want to put some leaves onto my background. So let's go for the single one first, which I'll use my ready brown number 30. And bear with me while I just open it, because no, I haven't opened it yet. Now I have. So I'm just going to ink these up a little bit. These are good inks. Thankfully, they ink up pretty easily. I apologise, this bit is off camera. It won't be for long. I will realise, and then I'll be like, oh, don't, you can't see anything. Although you can see what I have done. So let's move all that out of the way. Okay, so there you go. So I'm just randomly putting a few leaves here and there. They do look more like leaves in reality, I promise you. Here's a little mistake of mine. I printed another leaf down there, but that's fine because I can actually print a leaf down there. So not a huge mistake, but let's get that rectified. Here we go. Right, let's get some more leaves. So I am doing a couple that are just second generation here and there. But I'm trying to keep around the tree as best I can. It's autumn. There's lots of wind and leaves flying all over the place. So despite there being red ink on there, I'm going to put it in the reddy brown on here because they are a similar colour. I just want it ever so slightly browner, that's all. There's no major change with the colour, but it's subtle, it's there. Okay, so last leaves. Just a few of these. We'll add a little bit of gradient on these ones. Up here maybe. I think this is a point where I should have stopped, but nah, a couple more. Leaves are leaves. In autumn, there's oodles of them. One more, I think. Will that do? Yeah, that will do. Okay. Okay, so let's bring in my stamping tool. And I'm going to start with the letters first. So I want to make 3 words here, and I'm going to be using 2 of the different letter styles, which I'm going to have to cut them first because they're all in a line. I haven't used these yet. This is my first time using, so I will go and cut them all off. But I basically want to use 2 different styles purely for the reason that I want them to kind of look different. But I'm going to have to do each letter individually because they don't join up easily. So I have to stamp one, stamp it a couple of times, hence the stamping tool. Take that letter away, put the next stamp just a little bit closer than the stamps will allow if I were to put them next to each other straight out, and then we'll meet back up as soon as all my stamping's done. It will save you a reflection of the light as well for you. And so that's my wording done. Crispy autumn leaves. So as you see, two styles the same, one different, but that will be the background. So we'll set that off to one side because we don't need the stamping tool anymore. And we don't need the background for the moment. So we'll put that aside and we will grab the card, the glue stick, which could have been smaller, but I want to use up my glue and there isn't much left in here, so I want to use it up. So I'm now randomly just going to glue leaves all around this framework. It's going to be higgledy-piggledy, there's no science to it, it's just let's get some leaves on. So that's what I'll do, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so literally put a whole array of leaves here and there. I've tried not to put the same colour together as careful as I could, but I've literally just covered as many gaps as I possibly can. The reason why I use the yellowy orange card is purely because if there are any gaps, which of course there are a few here and there, it still matches with the autumnal theme. So even when the card is showing through, you can't really tell in that sense because it kind of goes with all the leaves. So I'm going to say I think that is done. That's pretty covered. So next we need to do the next part. So I did grab this piece of craft paper purely because I thought I'd want something to go on the inside to write on. I've also got some double-sided tape along with my sellotape. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do first is get my scissors and cut all of the excess of the leaves from around the frame very, very carefully, because I have not let this fully dry yet, but I'm going to snip away, snip, 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 because this card will be going in the post in the envelope that I showed you earlier, and I want it to fit. There's no point keeping the leaves on and trying to put it in the envelope because it'll never go. So I'll just cut all around the edge, cut all of the overlap of the leaves very carefully. Or should that be careful leaf? Ha ha ha. No? Okay, just me then. Always just me. That's final side. And just end doing this corner. Then I can show you. Okay. So let's wipe away the scraps because they're all done. They're finished. Don't need you anymore. Go away. Scoot. I've only got a small workspace, so I've got to be careful. Okay, so now acetate. My first panel of 2 I need to put down to make that frame an actual frame. So I'll be using the standard sellotape. There are so many different ways you can do this. I'm literally using what I've got to use it up. I'd rather do that than start a new thing. This is easily done with double-sided tape. Easily done. But I wanted to do with sellotape. So I'm just going around all the sides. It doesn't overly matter on this particular bit if I miss a slight portion. It's the next bit that will matter. Let's try that bit again. I mean, you could even do it with clear glue if you really wanted to. So many different ways. Decisions are yours. And I do apologise about the reflection again. So the last side. And that's that done. Okay, now I need to put the background on. But first, last bit of acetate over the top. So for this bit, I do need to make sure the gaps are all covered. Again, this can be done with double-sided tape, it can be done with clear glue, it's done how you want to do it. You've just got to make sure that all the gaps are spoken for, if gaps could speak. But make sure everything is covered. Now I'm only going to do 3 sides of this acetate. Going to make sure, oops, careful, 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 careful. Ah, we're all good, we're fine. So there's a little pocket here. Well, what could the pocket be for? Ta-da! Sprinkles. So I'm using these reddish, what I thought would work well with the card, reddish autumnal coloured sequins. I'm just going to dump a few in there. I don't want loads and loads and loads because there are lots and lots and lots of leaves. I don't want to overdo with the sequins. So I'm just going to put a few in there just to make sure there's some. So now I need to make sure that the top is sealed, making sure the gap at the top is completely covered. Don't want any sequins falling out. So you can see all the sequins down the bottom. I haven't filled it. I want enough for it to shake. Now just to get the background in. Again, with this, I'm using the sellotape again just to use it because I'm very, very close to the end of the roll. Again, it could be double-sided tape, it could be clear glue. It's whatever you choose it to be. So I'm basically using this background to cover the hole in the card at the back, at the front. And this craft paper is going to cover all of that up so you can't see the sellotape and have a place for writing as well. So for this, I'm going to use the double-sided tape now. So I'm going to cover all the sides of the craft paper. And while I do this, if you do like this kind of thing, please like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. That would be a huge help, please. Definitely appreciate it. Of course, the other things on my channel include the gardening. There's the beanie as well. Beanie's there for sure. And there's also some crochet where I do some tutorials and some whips. So if you like any of that kind of thing, please come and see me again sometime. I really need to sharpen these scissors. Okay. So let's get that. I'll do a bit in the middle. Forgot the middle. Let's try and get that covered. Now I'll take only a part of this off. Ordinarily speaking, it gives you a chance to look what you're doing before you stick it down. I admit I'm not good at actually remembering to look before I stick down. I tend to stick down and then go, oh, oops. So yes, I have made a mistake with this card, but I do leave my mistakes in, and this one thankfully sorted itself out. Thankfully. But anyway, let's get this adjusted. Oh, nails! Okay. Let's get it the right way round as well, which will be a good idea. So other way round, because I want the hinge at the bottom. So let's put that on. And this is where I don't look exactly where I'm putting it. Make sure it's all pressed down properly. And here's my mistake. I had to take that bottom little bit up and it ripped. Oh. Anyway, so the card, the paper that from the inside I can then write on like that. I can write on there. And then the front with sprinkles. Who doesn't like a little bit of sprinkle? But there we go. And that is our Autumn Leaves card. Thank you very much for joining me today. Much appreciate you looking, and hope you got some inspiration from my little make. Thank you guys.